catastrophic meteorological event has left the heart of Kansas reeling after a series of violent supercell thunderstorms dropped record-breaking hail across the Salina and Wichita metropolitan areas. The storm, which struck late Sunday night into the early hours of Monday, April 27, 2026, is already being classified by insurance experts as one of the costliest natural disasters in the state's history, with preliminary damage estimates soaring into the hundreds of millions of dollars. The devastation began when a powerful low-pressure system collided with a surging dryline moving eastward from the high plains. This collision occurred over an atmosphere primed with extreme instability. High CAPE, convective available potential energy, values, and significant wind shear. By 10 p.m. Sunday, the National Weather Service, NWS, in Wichita issued a particularly dangerous situation, PDS, severe thunderstorm warning. Meteorologists observed mesocyclones on radar, rotating updrafts so powerful they acted like atmospheric vacuums, suspending ice crystals in the freezing upper layers of the storm for extended periods. This allowed the hail to grow to gorilla proportions, stones exceeding 4 inches in diameter, grapefruit size, before gravity finally pulled them toward the earth at terminal velocities exceeding 100 miles per hour. Selena was the first major urban center to feel the storm's full fury. At approximately 1:45 a.m., the sky turned an eerie shade of bruised purple and green. Residents described the sound not as thunder, but as a continuous, deafening roar, akin to a fleet of low-flying jet engines. In the northern residential districts of Selena, the damage is near total. North-facing windows were not just cracked, they were completely obliterated, allowing wind-driven ice and rain to flood home interiors. Vinyl siding on thousands of homes looks as though it was hit by a machine gun barrage, riddled with jagged holes. "I've lived in Kansas for 60 years, said Arthur Miller, a Selena resident. "I've seen tornadoes and I've seen blizzards. But I have never seen ice fall with such violence that it punched holes through a solid wooden deck. It felt like the house was being dismantled while we were in the basement." The sheer weight and impact of the hail, combined with 75 miles per hour wind gusts, took down critical power infrastructure. Evergy reported that over 22,000 customers in the Selena area lost power. Massive hailstones also damaged the cooling units on the roofs of local hospitals and government buildings, forcing emergency protocols. As the storm cell tracked southeast, it intensified further before hitting Wichita. The city, known as the air capital of the world for its massive aviation industry, faced a unique set of challenges. Wichita's famous Auto Row along Kellogg Avenue has been transformed into what locals are calling a graveyard of glass. Thousands of brand new vehicles sitting on dealership lots were decimated. Windshields were crushed inward, and hoods were dented so deeply that the vehicles are likely to be declared total losses. Local glass repair shops, such as those in the downtown Wichita area, reported being overwhelmed within minutes of sunrise. "We usually stock about 200 windshields for various models," said a local shop owner. By 9 a.m. Monday, we had 1,500 calls. We are looking at a supply chain crisis that could last months. At Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport and nearby private airfields, the damage to light aircraft was significant. While major hangars protected commercial jets, smaller planes parked on the tarmac suffered punctured wings and shattered cockpits. This disruption has temporarily slowed logistical operations in the region's vital aerospace sector. Beyond the city limits, the storm dealt a crushing blow to the backbone of the Kansas economy: agriculture. The timing could not have been worse. Winter wheat, which had been progressing well due to a wet spring, was in a vulnerable growth stage. In Saline and Sedgwick counties, thousands of acres of wheat were mowed down by the ice. Agriculture experts from Kansas State University are currently surveying the fields, but initial reports suggest a 60 to 80% crop loss in the direct path of the hail core. For many farmers, this storm represents the loss of a year's income in less than 30 minutes. The economic fallout of the April 2026 hailstorm will be felt for years. State Farm and Allstate have moved mobile catastrophe units into Salina and Wichita to process claims. With an estimated 45,000 homeowners filing claims for roof damage, the demand for roofing contractors has skyrocketed. Kansas is now facing an acute shortage of skilled labor. Contractors from as far away as Texas and Illinois are migrating to the state to assist in the rebuilding effort. The sudden, massive demand for shingles, siding, and automotive glass is expected to drive up prices for construction materials statewide. Governor Laura Kelly, or the incumbent governor in 2026, has declared a state of emergency for the affected counties. The Kansas National Guard has been deployed to assist with debris removal and to provide temporary tarping for residents whose roofs were compromised. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment, KDHE, has also issued a warning regarding storm chaser scams. In the wake of such tragedy, there are always those who seek to exploit the vulnerable, a spokesperson warned. We urge residents to only hire licensed, insured, and local contractors. Meteorologists are debating whether this event is part of a broader trend of extreme convection fueled by a warming climate. The 2026 season has already seen a higher-than-average number of severe weather days. Urban planners in Wichita and Selena are now discussing long-term resilience strategies, including incentivizing impact-resistant roofing materials and building more covered parking structures for public transit and emergency vehicles. As the sun rose on Tuesday, the sound of chainsaws and the sight of blue tarps covering rooftops defined the landscape of central Kansas. While the physical damage is staggering, the community response has been swift. Kansas people are resilient, said Wichita Mayor during a press conference at City Hall. We are a state built on enduring the elements. We will sweep up the glass, we will patch the roofs, and we will move forward. But we will never forget the night the sky fell on us. Meanwhile, tornado sirens that woke people early Monday morning marked the latest in what is now the most active severe weather season ever recorded for the area. Through Monday morning, the Kansas City area has recorded 244 combined severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings, according to KCTV 5 Chief Meteorologist Luke Dorris. That total is 54 more than second place and 100 more than third place in historical records. If you just look at the number of storms that have gone strong enough to be severe, this season is unparalleled to this date so far, Dorris said. And the thing is, we still have a long way to go. Adam Erickson, who lives in Overland Park and has 2 young children, said the severe weather and tornado warnings have become routine. Last night, about 4 a.m., 4:30, when we got the alert on the phone and the tornado sirens went off, we had to drag everyone down into the basement and get all the animals and stuff like that and set up a little mattress, Erickson said. Julie Lewandowski has lived in the area for more than 20 years. She said she is used to severe weather but feels the storms will not let up. We did have some hail damage on our roof, but I expect this isn't the last of it either, Lewandowski said. The Kansas City area has not yet reached the peak of severe weather season, which typically tops out in May and June. Dorris said even if the area received 0 more warnings for the rest of the year, it would end mid-pack for an average year. 2 full months of severe season remain. Dorris said a shift in Pacific Ocean temperatures is likely driving the activity. The atmosphere and the ocean, it's all connected in this very complex matter, Dorris said. We are going pretty hard into an El Niño this year, into this summer, and it looks like our severe weather is tied partially to that. Dorris said warning fatigue is one of his biggest concerns heading into May and June. It'd be easy to say, I've just had too much, and you start ignoring or dropping your guard as warnings are coming. You don't want to do that. All right, especially with tornado warnings, Dorris said. He said people should keep phone alerts on, know their plan, and take every tornado warning seriously. Dorris also addressed storm anxiety, saying the odds of being hit by severe weather remain low, despite the high number of warnings. Try to not let this affect you too much mentally, Dorris said. We have severe season in Kansas City every year, and this one has been active, but we'll get through it. In Pratt County, Iuka residents are working through repairs after the town was pelted with hail and high winds Saturday. The town of about 150 people saw gusts topping 75 miles per hour and golf to tennis ball-sized hail. A walk down the streets of Iuka shows storm-battered structures that have stood in this tight-knit community for decades. It was very scary. Probably a good half hour of just several prayers going, Iuka Mayor Marcia Gigi said. It will take several months for a lot of roofs to be replaced, and of course the cleanup will continue, but it's all repairable. Gigi has led the town for about 20 years, and though she's seen her fair share of Kansas storms, each one leaves a lasting mark. Saturday's storms left many buildings in need of repairs. Almost every house in town will need a new roof. Several windows and car windshields were cracked or shattered, and the exteriors of many older homes were punctured by the large hail. Fences and siding also sustained significant damage. Even Mother Nature doesn't consider anyone's schedule. I had just planted all of my nice annual plants, and I'm not sure they'll come back, Gigi said. Of all the damage, Gigi says Iuka's roofs face the toughest predicament. We had one where the roof was just replaced 2 months ago, and when the inspector came, they said it was a total, and they would have to replace the entire roof again, she said. Roofing is often a victim of wind and hail, according to Aaron Walker, co-owner of AR Roofing and Exteriors, but homeowners do have options to strengthen their shelter. Don't add additional layers to a roof, tear it back down to the plywood deck. That way it has more of a solid surface when impacts do come, he said. We have some synthetic products that seem to do really well against hail frequency. Gigi says the community is looking forward to getting back to 100%. It will take several months for a lot of roofs to be replaced, and of course the cleanup will continue, but it's all repairable, she said. Gigi added that the town was prepared for Saturday's storm, and for others that may track through Iuka in the future, thanks to a dedicated tornado shelter and a new alert siren. Photos and videos are coming in from severe storms that brought tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds throughout the St. Louis region on Monday. Numerous tornado warnings were issued for numerous counties in both Missouri and Illinois, starting at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, hours before peak severe storms were forecast to enter the region. At least 11 more tornado warnings were issued across the region throughout the evening. Officials have not confirmed the number of tornadoes that may have touched down Monday evening. Survey crews will be out investigating damage reports on Tuesday. The Storm Prediction Center placed the entire 5 on your side viewing area under a moderate risk, level 4 out of 5, for severe weather. A strong system moved into the region with an 80% chance of storms. The timing also hit in the midst of rush hour in downtown St. Louis, affecting evening commuters. The Ferguson Police Department said the storms caused at least 6 downed trees, including 2 that fell onto structures and 1 that caused a gas leak at a business. Police and public workers were deployed to assess damage and begin the removal of significant debris that were scattered across streets and neighborhoods. That area has been cordoned off and is closed to through traffic while Spire's crews work to secure the scene. We are also addressing a critical situation in the area of Wesley and Tiffin, the department said. The department added that people should stay inside unless travel was absolutely necessary, as low visibility paired with downed power lines, dark intersections, and debris in roadways could cause dangerous conditions. Winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour sent tree limbs down onto a Ballwin home.
That's a lot of hail.
5 on your side's Tracy Hinson was at the scene as people surveyed the damage. Ballwin police were at the home checking on residents and said no one was injured when the limbs came down on the home. The Ballwin Police Department said multiple trees were down throughout the city, and public works crews were working to get them removed. As of 5:45 a.m., MJM Electric Cooperative reported a total of 49 customers without power between Jersey and Macoupin counties. At 5:45 a.m., the Clinton County Electric Cooperative had 1,442 customers without power. Downed trees and power lines were seen throughout St. Anne after the evening line of storms passed through. A tree fell onto a house on St. Genevieve Lane in St. Anne.
That's my house.
In Ferguson, at least 6 trees were downed, with 2 of them falling on structures. no injuries were reported. According to the Ferguson Police Department, one of the fallen trees caused a gas leak at a local business. Spire crews were sent to the area to secure it. A tree was also seen to have fallen on top of a home in Belleville. The family was able to get out of the home before first responders arrived. There were no known injuries. The St. Clair County Emergency Management Agency asked for followers on social media to share damage photos from the storm. Among the photos were fallen trees, including one that crashed onto a truck. There were no known injuries. There was damage to stock transport, which is on Faust Road near Lebanon, Illinois, close to the border between St. Clair and Clinton counties. A confirmed tornado touched down in Clinton County, authorities said.
Now I gotta rake up the yard again.